We're going to start out by looking at what is probably going to be a war crime someday. That's a wrong button. Yeah. We're going to start on StyroPyro. We're going to see just how crazy this gets. And if there's anything to go by the last video, oh God. I'm assuming, having seen this, we are now going to all be on a collective watch list because this counts as an accessory to whatever he finally does that lands him in probably a psychiatric ward or a maximum security prison where he's not allowed access to forks. Out of the two of those, one of them is a joke. You can try and guess which one. It's not going to make it any less disturbing either way. Moving on, let's see what happens. And by that, I mean it's a giant freaking laser weapon he made on the fly.
This seems to explode for no reason at all. That's crazy.
Elder
Something
God?
I've always
I
wondered
have no idea what that is.
what are you supposed to do with empty aerosol cans? I mean, there's always a little bit of gas left in them, so I've always just stabbed them before throwing them in the trash.
What? You I thought you held him upside down and you held the handle pointing it at something that didn't matter until everything was finally out and there was no more airflow. You actually punctured it when you thought there actually was still container. Oh, is it going to blow up in his hand?
I'm wondering if it'd be safer to use the laser to pop them from a distance.
Hi everyone, I'm Airier. We're literally less than 30 seconds in and already he's saying something that is absolutely terrifying because if you can puncture these from a distance and they're only slightly filled. A guy who put this into the back of his truck and walked around a hardware store, found one that had visible things through the windows, could realistically do something horrible. I think we have reached the war crimes portion. Oh God!
This can is full though.
Here we go.
Was it going to explode? Oh, it didn't actually explode. Never mind! That was a single can. Can you imagine if he found a display? This is fine. This is fine. Someone let me know which state he lives in so I can never go there.
There it was. Ha ha. Wow.
Well, it seems some branches are blocking my path here, so
Oh! Well, I guess this would make yard work easier if you're okay with the fire. Also, Xenon Dragon. So you'll be waiting for the 6th level of hell area? But I'm not going to New Jersey. Also, Revier mentioned Canada furiously taking notes. Oh, God.
guess I'll just trim them down.
I used to laugh at all the suggestions I get for building a tree trimming laser, but this actually seems to be a useful technique. Of course, lasers introduce a lot of major hazards that you don't have to deal with when doing mechanical trimming, and the upfront cost is substantial. But even so, I can certainly think of situations where a laser tree trimmer is appealing.
This can of insulation foam quit spraying on me.
His yard is covered in leaves. Now, they look wet. But that is a lot of suddenly burned pieces of wood falling into a pile of leaves. This is fine. And Pilo, you mentioned that's nothing. I just saw a post yesterday about a repair tech letting the gas out of an inflated battery in a laptop. So I'm assuming that was a post-mortem you saw about that post. Or maybe an obituary because, oh God, Pilo. For anyone wondering, inflated batteries is not because of gas. It's because they're about to explode. Stabbing it is a bad idea. Oh God. And Revier said, if it involves war crimes, then instantly assume it's Canada, the country with the record of creating the most of them. I made a point not to look it up because, oh God. And Matthew, the fuck indeed, man. The fuck is in the air and on the ground and in the sky and in the laser chair that he made.
I'm not sure if it's because it's clogged or maybe it's solidified on the inside. Well, either way, let's open it and find out what's wrong.
You're opening with the laser, right?
Oops.
Is it just gonna pop the foam everywhere? Oh, that's actually a lot less than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it didn't seem to spray out a bunch of
No.
stuff.
Oh no, it's falling out and falling on fire. Did he just make napalm? He just made beginner's napalm. And Michael Hamilton mentioned that flamethrowers are considered brush clearing. Tools for brush clearing. This video is very disturbing.
Must have simply be solidified in there.
You can see the heat draining off of it in the actual distortion from the camera. I'm not reading that one out loud, Zeno. I'm not reading that.
On second thought, maybe it was just clogged, considering how much of it sprayed out on the fence there.
If he puts it back on there, that will light on fire, it seems. On the other hand, it didn't burn that much when it came out, so maybe that actually is a very good fire retardant. I'm going to keep telling myself that. And Siren, you mentioned, if you know Nuxanor, the forever cancel target, then you should know his gilded guy is still up, and you're probably fine. Oh, I might be able to get away with that then. And Endless Infinity 1, just wait until you watch his car battery video. What? What? No, actually, don't tell me what he did with car batteries. I don't think I can literally take it at this point. And hi, you mentioned you're trying one more time to convince me to take the 10 5 years later. And for afraid, don't understand. I'm curious about that, but there's just so many things I want to see first, so I'm not entirely sure I'll get to that. I might, but I can't tell if I will or not. It'll probably just be a spur of the moment thing.
Let's see if I can burn a hole through this clay pot.
Clay is pretty good at dissipating heat. That's why kilns are
Let's
a thing.
smoke this pot.
But how did it go against the laser? It'll probably... Oh, yeah, it's going right in. It'll probably shatter because the heat would overwhelm it.
Oh yeah, it cracked.
I think I
I'm
heard
quite
that.
impressed how easily I can melt ceramic from this distance, even with the weaker backup scope.
Oh, it went all the way through. To give you an idea, though, in terms of how good ceramic is, the space shuttle, when it wasn't broken, used ceramic tiles on the base to survive re-entry. This burned a hole through it. Now, I mean, these are not space shuttle grade ceramics, but it's still ceramic.
I should have held it on just a little bit longer. It melted through the front, and it nearly made it out the back as well.
Oh, I just noticed there's a drop there. That is not figuratively melted or burned through it or atomized or vaporized. It actually melted.
Thermite was easy to ignite from close range with the laser, so now I want to set it off from a distance.
Here we go.
How bad could that be?
Wow, instantly.
I want to reiterate
a
how
focused
hard
laser.
it typically is to ignite this stuff. So the fact that I can set it off instantly from this distance is pretty amazing. My new optics arrived, which meant I had to take apart the scope to put in the new ones.
Oh yeah, I forgot. These were the weak optics. It's the weakest version we've seen so far.
Unfortunately, I had epoxied it together, but I was able to defeat the polymers using jujitsu.
Yes.
Yeah, that actually is a valid way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I rebuilt the scope back to its original higher power density specs.
Alright, I've got the new scope built here, and this time I've added a camera on top. That way my shots will be less shaky for you guys. So the switch on the welder actually broke, so I had to wire on this new one here. But then
He literally has a death laser with a big firing button. The fact that he didn't change it to red is actually disappointing to me. Is this a good example of StyroPyro's content? For everyone else who's seen this, or Hoarier if he's randomly here sometime, is this what we're usually looking at for him? Absurd levels of, oh my god, why is this real? Or is this just out of the normal for him? Because maybe this is not as bad as usual. I'm assuming, though, that the answer is going to be, this is one of the more tame videos, and everything he did after this probably involved the police asking him if he is going to continue using his nuclear reactor that he built by accident. I don't know if that's a joke. I don't think it is. And Siren, you're expecting a Guild Guy reaction next Friday? Maybe. Honestly, it's one of those ones I've wanted to do for a long time. I just never got around to it. So please go put some comments in the suggestion section in Discord, because I will forget otherwise. I'm really bad about memory.
Nice thing about this one is that the laser will shake less when I fire it, which means it'll be easier to hold the spot on the target.
Wait, the laser was shaking?
For the first
because
test
of his
with the
movement.
upgraded optics,
The laser was shaking because of his movement and the tower accentuating it. He doesn't have it on a gimbal. It's burning through things with the heat dissipating because it's a laser, so the spot it's heating up is not consistent. And he had a less effective optics system. So if you put this on a gimbal to stabilize it, and with the upgraded optics, he's... Yeah, Zero Dragon said this guy's a Bond villain. No, I think Bond villains are a lot less scary. This guy would just do it because it's fun and leave it at that.
I'm going to try melting through this piece of drywall from 70 meters away.
Let's see if I can hit this thing.
I think he can.
Oh, wow.
And you can actually see how there's still a little wobble back and forth. Yeah, you can actually see that now with the better camera.
That was really quick. I think it shot
I made a joke last time about a laser pointer show exactly where it's going to hit. That actually makes sense at this point.
straight through there. That's amazing.
It was hard to keep the beam steady from that distance, but the laser still melted straight through. The aiming laser spot there shows how wobbly the tower is, and that problem is way worse when I'm up in it.
Never mind, he has an aiming laser. Okay, sure. Siren, $100 isn't enough? Dude, if $100 was enough, I wouldn't have forgotten to go to multiple finals. And I was the one paying those classes, and I still forgot to go take those finals in college twice. Yeah, it's not a good thing. It's just something I'm aware of. Yeah, also, I did literally sleep through 2 different finals in college. Oddly enough, got a D in them because I had perfect grades prior to that, which is the only reason I didn't have to retake them. Thank God they were only things I needed to complete it, not the main courses.
Let's see if I can melt through the steel plate from this distance as well.
Oh, joy! Steel plates.
It took me a while to get the aim right and the beam steady enough for this one, but eventually, I got it to the point of glowing and shooting out sparks.
Oh, it certainly got hot.
Okay, so the steel at least held it off a bit, to the point of the same effectiveness as a lightsaber in cutting down a door. Lovely. This is fine.
I don't know if I poked through it or not.
Sure enough, the laser did manage
He made a smiley face, and he didn't poke it all the way through. Or is that the one all the way through?
to punch through the
He's
steel.
IRL Doofenshmirtz?
You can see a tiny bit of light making it through. Impressive.
Okay, so steel is still effective. That's good to know. It's not immediately destroying everything. It's just destroying most of the things people commonly build around. When these become more common, I think it's going to be a requirement to just start coating houses in steel plates. And I'm sure that could never in any way, shape, or form backfire.
Let's try something a bit harder this time. I have this fire brick that I melted through earlier from close range. Let's see if I can do it again from 70 meters. I gave the brick a solid 30-second blast from the laser.
It probably went through
hoping
already.
that the raw power of the beam could make up for the rickety mount that the laser is sitting in.
I can't tell if I melted through it or not.
Did we find something you can hold it off?
It's certainly melting there.
Matthew, you're looking for this guy
Should go
named
check on
StyroPyro.
The laser did in fact make
All
it
the way through!
the fire brick, melting an impressive portion of it and turning it into glass.
That's the back.
Clearly, the laser spot can
Oh, God, yeah. Wait, that's glass? Nudge it. So the previous ceramic was literally turned into glass, like the... And the reason this is so big is that the ambient heat around it melted the surrounding fire brick.
still reach some extreme temperatures, even at this distance.
I am not...
Alright, that's actually pretty
I'm either too
insane.
sober or not
That is
sober
just
enough for this, and I
light.
don't know which one it goes.
That's wild.
Now I just know you guys are going to comment on that propane tank.
No.
Believe me, every day the urge is there to light that thing on fire. However, it wouldn't exactly be very responsible of me, so I'm going to light this thing on fire instead.
Oh, lovely! I'm assuming we're going to eventually hear when he gives in to the voices in his head and burns down his house and everything around it by blowing up a god-awful huge propane tank. as opposed to this one, which is just camping grill sized. Again, his yard is just leaves and wood, a wooden fence and leaves. How is this man still alive?
Dead.
Oh, this is going to be bad. Oh,
No way.
it's not actually as bad as I thought.
The laser
So it punctured it, and the pressure is so high, it actually just vented the gas as opposed to igniting the gas. Actually kind of surprising, and literally the best outcome there. Because the pressure of the gas being released was probably enough to put out the fire because there wasn't any oxygen. It's like when you blow on an ember to light it, but when you have a giant ass, oh my god, what the level amount of wind, it just blows it out. Should it work that way? I have no idea, but okay. Ooh, and Mega Man Land Prime. Are we doing terrible writing advice today? Maybe. It's in the playlist. We'll see how long it takes to get there.
punched through the steel wall super quickly. However, it wasn't able to provide the flame needed to actually ignite the gas.
Which means if it hadn't fallen off based on the propulsion from the gas escaping it, as well as providing its own smoke screen, he could have ignited. I don't think the gas is dense enough to ignite from this point. I don't know if that's true or not, though.
I decided to give it another try, and was able to briefly ignite it by keeping the laser firing at the leaking tank.
But
All right,
he
I'm gonna
had.
try taking another shot.
Okay, so he can actually keep it going, but as soon as he stops providing heat, it stops burning. Which is probably why propane was the gas used, because it doesn't stay lit if you don't want it lit. That makes sense.
At that truck door back there. I'm hoping it goes even faster with the new optics.
Also, for anyone who didn't see the first half, these are when he previously shot this truck with the weaker power and the less focused laser that wasn't as stabilized. This is fine. And Endless Infinity mentioned he's a goblin with 20 intelligence. I don't think intelligence is the word. No, actually, intelligence is exactly correct. It's just -10 wisdom.
The laser cut through the steel much faster this time, producing a nice shower of sparks in the process. I also gave the tire some love as well, but that thing hadn't been inflated in a decade.
Oh, thank God.
So I couldn't get it to pop. At some
I thought he was
point
about to
during the
pop an
aiming
inflated
process,
tire.
I accidentally set the inside of the truck on fire. Oh, heck.
Is it not supposed to look like that? Oh, you kind of see it barely. There's still some steam or smoke coming off the lid here, or off the top of it. So it's still on fire on the inside then.
That's a problem.
Yeah, he lit the car on fire.
Well, unfortunately, it seems I've lit that truck on fire in there. I better put that out.
Just to clarify, that is water and not propane he's about to throw in there, or some kind of fuel. Or is he about to throw water on a oil fire because of the plastic seats? I'm expecting this video to end with him having no hair and smiling at the camera going, "Ah, according to cake." Oh, God. Also, Horror's in the chat right now for anyone live. It's his fault we're checking this out, and oh God, why? And this guy has a degree in chemistry, not lasers. So he's not a physical engineer. He's a chemical engineer. Further proof that it doesn't matter what kind of engineer you are, you're all mad scientists. I have one in my family. I am aware of this on a very intimate level.
That ought to do. Oopsies.
And just more fell out.
Alright, where's my gasoline can?
What?
Well, nearly burning that truck to the ground reminded me that I really need to burn that brush pile behind it. Gosh, I've been meaning to do that since I've moved in. So let's take care of that.
I hear that wrong. Nope, that is gasoline can onto the leaves.
Let's take care of that.
In the field of dried leaves. When he said it was getting warmer. How is this getting more crazy than the first half?
All right, here we go.
That works.
That was fun. Now the thing is, burning stuff at 70 meters is cool and all, but I didn't go through the trouble of building a frickin' tower-mounted laser cannon.
Was that a three-legged cat?
But I didn't go through the trouble of building a frickin'...
No, it has 4 legs. It's just running together with 2 really close by. Also, 70 meters. The majority of a football field.
Tower-mounted laser cannon, just to toss some photons over a rock-skipping distance. Oh
What?
no, my craving is to burn things so far away that I can just barely see them. This means I must venture deeper into the forest.
I'm going to say this is probably Tennessee. I'm not really sure where he's at. I have no idea what it's like. I have no idea if it's Canada or not. But I'm going to assume Tennessee because I'm throwing out a random idea. I have no idea. I mean, if it's South Dakota, I have no idea if there would be enough trees for this there, but whatever. And Zero Dragon, you're wondering if the fire marshal will be there? I think at this point, the fire marshal gave up. What was that green stuff? What? Oh, it's probably so he could see it to light it on fire.
Yeet.
That worked! Yeah, that would be a full football length.
Yeah, that was a bit dramatic for moving out to 220 meters. But it's more than triple the distance of the last shots. And it's
220 meters. If the next follow-up to this isn't, I wanted to see what would happen if I gave an AI control of a laser, and it was fun, I'm not going to be surprised. I will be terrified, but I will not be surprised, because at this point, sure, why not? Oh God. I'm hoping the power source for this, the requirements are huge, but considering he looks like he's already running on a generator, I could see someone deciding to hook this up on the back of a truck bed with a diesel generator and making a legitimate run for having a turret. Because at this point, proof of concept is already here. These things are all things you could buy. He's not using anything beyond PVC pipe from Amazon. So actually, no, the optics are all from Amazon to focus it. PVC pipe from wherever the hell you want to get that, like any hardware store. And a rust removing laser that you could buy as a cleaning supply. Revere, you're asking for a Doug Dub collab video. If you mean with StyroPyro... Oh God, Doug does a lot of AI work. He could probably code up a program in software to automatically focus on movement. I wouldn't be surprised if you could do that, because if you're a good coder, you could probably get away with a lot of bullshit. So there's an entirely likely possibility, if those two ever collabed, the most insane programming guy and the most insane whatever the hell StyroPyro is, you know, we probably would have a robot apocalypse if that ever happened. Let's never, ever let them meet each other. And sorry, not refining the $100. It's a reminder. Thank you. But if it's too much, man, I do not mind. Just don't put yourself in a bad situation. I don't mind if you need to take it back. Michael Hamilton, for Shizzle Airier, Skibbity Toilet, the Mind Goblin Ya Yeet. Actually, I specifically know I cannot react to Skibbity Toilet because the guy who makes it explicitly does not allow reactions, and he will copyright strike, not claim, strike anyone who tries to touch his stuff. He doesn't get to everyone, but he's done it to so many people that it is literally more a matter of when he gets around to it, not if it happens.
It's as far as I can go without having to worry about stray beams leaving my property. I started with some easy pyro targets to get a hang of these
Stray
long
beams?
shots.
What am I hitting? Wow, and I thought 70 meters was hard to aim. This is...
I'm so glad he's doing actual wheel adjusted aiming, because if he had a program with laser sights that would automatically adjust right now, it might be more accurate and way more steady. Dear God, man.
brutal.
Yes, I got it.
A little underwhelming, considering all the other stuff. But
Wow,
he
that
hit
was
it.
a launch. For the next shot, I'm going to see if I can ignite this roll of firecrackers.
In a forest covered in trees that are dry. I did what a roll of that is. Dry leaves on a forest floor with a bunch of trees surrounding it. I mean, at this point, he should just go and give like some kind of, gender reveal party to complete the meme of, hey, how'd you cause the forest fire? That's all right, you'll be fine. You're 18, you live with your parents. Well, at least you don't have to worry about rent. That always helps. On the other hand, enjoy it while it lasts, man. Rent is a bitch. Yeah. Seriously, thank you very much, though.
It's close.
He's burning the leaves near it.
All right, just a little bit to the left. Oh, wait. Other left. Yeah, there it is, I think.
Oh, there it goes. I'm just going to assume at this point it had previously rained and it's like negative 20 degrees outside. And there's just ice covering everything. Because if I think anything else, this is literally my nightmare. And hi, you should stop giving him ideas. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Or, well, the lack of it is a good idea. And Hobby, you live with your parents and you pay rent. Oh, yeah, that's actually what I ended up doing. But, it's still cheaper than renting anywhere else. I've seen places that have a single bedroom, sometimes a bathroom, often a shared one, and they would charge $1,200. I live in West Virginia. That's the pricing. Can you imagine anywhere else? Yeah, let's not talk about rent. That gets disturbing really fast. And Horrier mentioned, yeah, so the laser is invisible. It is enough to blind anyone who sees the dot on the ground more than 100 feet away. More than dangerous enough to burn. Yeah.
Yes! Awesome!
Oh, God, make it.
I was able to open a can of soda from 70 meters. Let's see if I can do it again.
At least this one's all wet. Oh,
Did I get it?
I think he's burning
can't tell.
around it.
I just can't tell.
No, it's still in one. He missed. Oh, no, there it goes.
This one was a bit anticlimactic, but it did manage to pop at the top of the can.
Yeah, so he actually got out right away, and it looks like it didn't jump this time around. So it lost a little power at the distance. Also, Mega Man Land Prime mentioned, so this is so much extra effort. Just have Kaiba smile at it, and it will light itself on fire and attempt to save any puppies that are left on Earth. Oh my God.
Since the last can was so boring, let's upgrade to a can with more exciting contents this time.
I can't even see
Is that
it.
butane?
It's so far away.
Oh, that was the gas he had to
I
keep
tried
burning
use
to fire it.
binoculars, but I can't put them close enough to my eyes to with these goggles in order to see them.
Never tell him about a Vision Pro hooked up to the camera, because at this point, I'm assuming that will be the future of aiming. You just have it right on your... Oh shit, that's a good idea. Let's never say this again.
Okay, now I see it through the,
Is he on it? We'll find out as soon as it pops. Oh, that one's still burning!
Did you hear that? It made like a buzzing sound.
This camera captured the sound a little bit better.
It was still burning. I have no idea how cold is there. The water isn't frozen, so it's not freezing temperatures outside, but it must have just rained for those leaves to have stopped at that level.
The pops were from leftover firecrackers, but what about that humming sound? Let's take a look at this view.
Was that the... It was spinning. It was spinning so fast, he could hear it from 200 meters away. And the reason it kept burning is because even though the gas was coming out, it was falling into the lit on fire leaves from when he missed it initially. So it made a bigger fire. I don't even... And Michael Hamilton, you want to see him cook a turkey or a chicken as a whole meal? I think he would. It'd just be a bunch of cinders by the end of it.
The can broke in a way that directed the gas sideways instead of outwards, spinning it like a centrifuge. I've never seen that happen before. Alright, I'm going to try burning through some drywall once again.
Yeah, I think it went through it.
If I could get this aim right here. Oh, this stupid mount is so wobbly. It never wants to hold the spot on target.
Again, if he just gets a gyroscope or a gimbal up here, he could probably make up for any shaking from the actual tower.
Yeah, I can see it glow. I don't know if I actually shot through it or not, though. Let's go check.
It looks like I didn't make it through that one. I don't think the optics are at fault there. I can see it started to melt. I just couldn't keep the spot stable enough for it to go through.
In other words, it's not immediately going to kill you. We've seen at closer range. It could do that, but... 200 meters, he needs absolute stability. If he had a gimbal, if he had any kind of stabilization, this is nearly an unbeatable instant fuck you weapon. And Hobby, you think this video is bad for anxiety? No. See, anxiety is worry about things that might happen. This is a very accurate fear about things that can now happen. It's a very different kind of problem. It's like paranoia. If people are actually coming out to get you, it's not paranoia at that point. It's forethought.
These popcorn tins are about the only good thing about the holidays. I'm going to try melting through
I mean, what about
one
the
from
popcorn
this
inside of it?
distance.
No, you can see it actually glows red and it's lit on fire.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely got that thing.
Right in the center, too.
Absolutely.
The
You
microwave
can see it
video.
glowing. Haha. I don't know if you can see it from this view.
Oh, no.
I was barely able to make it through that one. Now that's made of steel, and even though it's thin, I still consider that pretty impressive.
So steel is actually good at holding it down. I'm wondering if the coating... No, the coating probably concentrated the heat further because it would at least burn off.
I figure I might as well give thermite a try once again, even though this one will probably be a stretch.
Oh? Is it going? Yeah, it goes. There's the thermite. But
I
not as
managed to
much.
ignite the plastic container, but that flame temperature is far from being able to ignite the mix. It turns out my issue was just in the aiming. Once I had it aligned with the exposed powder, it went up in flames within seconds. Not gonna lie, I didn't actually expect this one to work.
Oh, you can see it's actually snowing when he's doing this. So even if it's not freezing the pond near him, it's at the point where it probably will. That's the only... If he did this in the summer, it probably would have ignited then because it'd be even drier.
I'm glad I tried it because it turned out to be a nice surprise. I've got one more thing I want to zap from
What?
this distance. It's just another pyro target, but it should look pretty nice since it's getting dark out.
Oh, I can actually see the aiming beam now.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. You could just barely see the tiny red dot right there where you could see he's aiming. So he does have the laser. Again, if someone gave him a Vision Pro that would plug into the scope on this, this is actually something we should never actually talk about. And Hoyer mentioned anxiety-inducing is his video electricity safety. Nothing like shock yourself with 1,000 plus amps to prove a point. Oh, and Make a Man mentioned, so do you think this guy is actually kind of the kind that God struck with lightning accidentally in smartphone abridged, or the person God welcomed, or the next person. I'm explicitly going to ignore that comment, Mega Man, because it makes too much sense and I do not want it to make sense.
On there. Yeet.
Oh shit! Yeah! Theoretically, if you prepared an area with a bunch of random effects like this to go off, you could write a program for a computer controlling the laser's power and location to immediately zoom in, fire off on those, and move to the next one to create a series of explosions at pre-prepared moments so you don't actually need to even worry about it. This man, I'm glad he's a physical, chemical engineer as opposed to a computer programmer, because that would be overpowered at this point, and I don't think the world could survive that.
Oh yeah, that'll do it, won't it?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to cap the experiments here just because, I mean, I'm sure the laser could go much farther. In fact, it can go way further than this.
It
The
can.
problem is, I just don't have a place where I can shoot it and confidently know that the beam's gonna stop and not leave my property.
Now that being said,
Chemical engineer, everyone. This makes sense to him. I'm just looking at this going, I don't care. It's just too crazy. Although I'm pretty sure this is a dispersion.
I think it's worth looking into the theoretical
Tannerite?
max distance that this setup can burn. So using the Stefan-Boltzmann law, as well as the auto-ignition temp of paper, and some other approximations, I get a max burning range of 4 kilometers, or 2.5 miles.
That's... This video is from 7 months ago. I'm too afraid to check myself, but if anyone else knows, did he make a video where he was given permission to go to the salt flats to see what range he could make it effective at? And then maybe better optics to make it more... Oh god, he probably could. I mean, that's one way to start burning, man.
Of course, my rickety tower isn't stable enough to make a shot like that, but this is
Get a
still
gimbal on
crazy
that thing.
result. That means that with a good mount and a bigger telescope, you can hit a point where the curvature of the Earth is what puts a cap on the burning distance.
Also, when I say a gimbal, I specifically mean the kind of stabilization that exists for people doing selfies where you have a perfectly smooth camera. That's actually a device that automatically compensates in multiple axes so that the camera doesn't move despite you walking around and moving up and down all the time. So it would be a lot easier to get that done. Those are things you could buy off the shelf. They're not cheap, but probably a lot cheaper than the initial laser source here, which is just used to clean rust off metal.
That's crazy. Oh, and one more thing on the topic of burning stuff.
I can already foresee the comments saying, "Oh no, he's gonna burn the forest down."
Yeah, or your house or the leaves. I'm assuming the snow earlier is the only reason you did that.
So a couple things on that. So for one, I'm an expert at burning things in the woods, all right? Like seriously, growing up, that's like all I did with my friends was just light things on fire in the woods. But also, this isn't California where just looking at the forest will light it on fire. It rains here, right? In fact, we actually had a bunch of rain this past week. So like, the risk of lighting this forest on fire is zero, and that's no exaggeration.
It's always zero until it starts. But yeah, not being in California, actually getting rain, seeing the snow in the previous sections. It's cold and it's damp. That is a very good reason it won't light on fire. But I'm glad we saw those things because, yeah, you saying you're an expert at burning things does not make it any safer. There's a reason pyro and arsonists don't always do it on purpose.
Like, I couldn't light these woods on fire if I tried, and that's saying something.
And he is trying.
So that's about all I have for this video.
Did the kitty just jump?
I want to give a thank you to FlexiSpot for giving me the comfy chair I mounted in my tower. Also, thank you to the Backyard Scientists for mogging me with one of these systems and convincing me to get one myself. Also, thank you to my Patreon supporters for the continued support.
Okay. That is an adorable cat. That is legitimately adorable. Also, Mega Man, it's nice to see our new world overlord before he put that laser on a satellite and took over. Mega Man, what do you mean before? This was 7 months ago. I'm not saying he's done it already, but I would also not be surprised if suddenly there's a bunch of articles about how some countries, all of them, are just randomly sending a portion of their budget to an unknown source or location. And at that point, we know who it's going to.
I'll be sure to post some extras and cuts from this video there.
That
Well, until the next time, stay safe and happy lazing.
I do not know what to say here other than, Hoyer, why the hell did you recommend this? I'm going to have nightmares about this man. This man is absolutely insane, and it's the coolest video I've seen in a long time. But also, this is a thing you could do with off-the-shelf components. Anyone who could get a gimbal, mount the head with the laser on it, and afford the laser cleaning unit that started and powered it, along with PVC pipes and the ability to mount the optics, that he bought on Amazon. It's more just the ability to put it together than the ability to make it at this point. And the fact that he mentioned if he could see it, he could just burn through glass pretty fast. He could light things on fire. I'm assuming somewhere out there is someone going, yeah, buddy, and then lighting things on fire because they're running around with a truck-mounted laser turret because they saw this and thought it'd be a great idea. And frankly, honestly, if I could actually get a truck and I wasn't, terrified of lighting myself on fire, I would be the asshole doing that, because that actually does sound kind of fun to run around with an actual turret on the back of a truck. Michael Hamilton mentioned in the chat that it's the Austin Powers, if anything, to go by all mad scientists have cats. Yeah, I'd go with that one. It does kind of fit in there. Lasers. Laser turrets. That was a single laser. If he had 3 lasers and he just had focusing beams so they all lined up the same area, they would have more heating potential. I'm going to shut up now in case that actually is a good suggestion. I don't just know. I just know. We're going to know on this one. So for all watching, thanks. I'm going to run away screaming now.